Okay, we're going to wait for this audience to build up. I want to welcome the team here, and I just want to make sure that you are all able to hear me. So if you can, hand raise. Thank you, Kate. Good to see. By the way, if you want to raise your hand, you know how to do it because I've seen pretty much everyone has raised their hands. There's a Q&A box as well if you want to ask a question. If you want to add, just chat away. You can chat away. We haven't got a question here. Oh, hi, it's not a question, it's a statement. Hey, Kate. I'm just going to wait for this audience to build up. We have an official starting time at 3 o'clock, and I'm letting you know that I'll be starting on at around 3, 3:05. Some people find technology a bit of a challenge, but I'd like you all, if you don't mind, is to think about things, and if there's any, I'm here eating lunch, sorry, that's all right, Kate. If you got any questions, I'm going to answer those questions at the end. So if you've got any questions throughout the webinar, you are to just put them in the Q&A section of Zoom. So yes, let's just wait for this audience to build up. Okay, so people are coming in, fantastic. Close that box there. Good afternoon. I think that's Julie. Okay. Guys, I've just unmuted you. You can speak through the computer. Are you all there? Can you hear me? You all. Can anyone hear me? If you don't want to just put down in the chat box, you confirm that. Yep, good to see you, Ansu. Hey, Paul Lynch, good to see you. Jack, good to see you. Hey, Kate, good to see you all. Fantastic. Sure can, beautiful. Hey, Natasha is here. All righty, it is 3 o'clock. Let's get the show on the road. And I'm letting you know that you are also going to get a recording of this. Well, I will provide it to your head office. I'll provide it to Natasha. And I want to welcome you here on this Friday afternoon. And it's an important Friday afternoon because unlike other events, all of a sudden, time has become your friend. Time is critical. You have time, you can do things, but I am letting you know that there is a lot of real estate agents, of clients of mine, that are saying they wish they were able to have the information I'm talking about a week ago, because they're in total lockdown. They're in total lockdown. And I want to let you know that we will most likely in the near future in Australia be not allowed to show homes. I want you to understand that clearly. What will happen is when you go in lockdown as an agent, you will not be able to go to a property. We don't know when that will happen, but we do know that that will happen. And for that reason, I'm actually going to go through some practical things that you can be doing right now that you've got the time to do it. I intend to cover some scripts and dialogues that have been built for the coronavirus period. I also want to cover for you what the things that you should be doing whilst business is not usual. In fact, I will say to you, one of the best pieces of scripts and dialogue that you can have is saying to clients, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I want to let you know, for us, it's business as usual, but in an unusual way. Here's what we're doing. It is super important you stay relevant during this period. I am now going to share my screen and run through a presentation with you. And what I'm going to do is come here, open this here, come here, we go here, and we're up. And what I'd like to do is to let you know that right now we are going into bumpy waters. I say this not to alert you or to scare you. I say this to you because what you must do is hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And what I mean by that is this. You will find that the way that you operated in business will change. Some of these changes will be permanent even after COVID-19. Other changes will be temporary. It'll only be during this period. So what I want to do is flick onto the first slide and let you know we are now in a period that I call a time to sow. Think about what I'm saying. It is a time to sow. There is a time to actually reap, and there is a time to sow. And what we're entering is a time to sow. And what does that mean? During the next few months, it would be unrealistic for you to expect to do exactly the same sales volume that you've done for the same period previously. I want you to know that there's a beautiful saying. The day you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. And what I'm saying here is that some of the work that you'll do over the next couple of months, you won't reap the rewards during those couple of months. You'll reap those rewards after. So understand that during this period, you will work hard. This is not annual leave. You're not going to wake up wearing your Peter Alexander pajamas and sitting around the house feeling sorry for yourself. What you're going to do is you're going to say to yourself, I am going to rewrite my agreement with reality. I'm going to use this period to get myself to the best health I've ever had, to get me to the best fitness I've ever had, and to make you real estate fit. Because when this period is over, there will be winners and losers. There'll be people that win market share, and there'll be people that lose market share. And I'm also going to tell you, not to alarm you or scare you, there is going to be less real estate people in the marketplace. That's a good thing, because we know in our business, we work on demand and supply. If you think about it, if there's going to be less agents in the market, that's going to mean that there is more stock for the remaining agents that are in the market. Not only that, with less agents in the market, more properties per agent to sell, the commissions are also going to be better because there's going to be less agents in the market. So I want you to know you have to plan for 2 scenarios in the next few days. Scenario 1 is that we're in partial lockdown like we are now, which means no open for inspections, no auctions, and the government saying to you, stay at home if you don't need to go out. Scenario 2 is where we go into total lockdown like many of the other countries around the world, what New Zealand did 48 hours ago. And I want you to plan for both scenarios. And I want you to understand that scenario lockdown 4 is most likely going to happen, which means that your ability to actually do buyer appointments or listing presentations or vendor meetings face-to-face will no longer be there. So let's go through right now what I think are some urgent things you need to get cracking straight away. Number 1, you need to get on properties at the moment that have not settled, but have actually got contracts done. Get the buyers to do their final inspection before settlement over the next few days, because you don't want to be in a situation where you can't settle because the buyer can't go into the home if we're in lockdown to have the final inspection before settlement. The next thing is pest and building reports are a good idea to be organized now while we know we can get inspectors into the properties. Even if you don't have a buyer on a property, urge your vendors to get a pest and building done, because this might become very helpful if you're trying to sell a property, but you don't have the luxury of getting a pest or building inspection done by the buyer. Number 3, realestate.com.au recently announced the functionality which is going to allow you to have properties done by mobile phone, camera on mobile, uploaded in what is called the virtual inspection. And what you need to do is, in case we go to lockdown on Monday, you need to go into all your current listings that don't have a video, and you need to shoot a video. And I'm also letting you know at 5 o'clock today, I'll be doing a video webinar on how to shoot rock star property videos using a mobile phone. We're going to go through the editing software that you need, and you're going to be able to get a top-notch video that profiles both you and the property in 10 minutes. That it's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as good as a video from a professional videographer, but it will be better than not having a video, and it will allow your clients, buyers, to have virtual inspections. The next thing that you should do is any listings that you've got that are about to hit the market, they're on your hot chase list, ring up the owners and recommend that they go off to the hardware, Bunnings, and buy what they need, because in this 2 to 3 week period where people are at home, they can actually do the final touch-ups on their property and get them into inspection status. And your owners are going to think that it's just been good thinking of you, actually following them up on your database, letting them know that this is a useful thing to do. The next thing, if you haven't done it already, you're to change open for inspections and auctions on all your marketing collateral, and of course, starting with your online marketing. Replace the word from auctions on site or auctions in room to auction online if you're sticking with auction. Replace the word opens for inspection to inspection by appointment. How are real estate agents at the moment logistically doing appointments on properties? Let me explain. They're allowing for 2 1-hour appointments per property. So you get an inspection, say from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on a Thursday. What you do then is internally, you create 4 spots within that hour: 3 to 3:15, 3:15 to 3:30, 3:30 to 3:45, 3:45 to 4 o'clock. And what you do is that when you create a buyer appointment, you actually say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I've got a slot at 3:30 to 3:45. My vendors have also asked me to ensure that we're bringing qualified buyers that are in a position to be able to do business if they love the home. Can I ask you, if you like this home, would you be in a position to be able to move forward in these times? You've got to be direct. You don't want to be taking anyone to properties unless they're hot, qualified buyers. And I've got to say to you, you can put them through a few hurdles. They're watching a video online, then you're having that conversation with them on the phone, then you fit them into a 15-minute slot. You do the same for Thursday. So essentially each of your properties that are active right now can actually get 8 appointments a week just through those inspection times. That's how you manually manage your time at the moment. You do not put those inspection times on your marketing collateral. That is going to piss off everyone. Inspections, open for inspections, are gone. Change clauses in contracts. Change clauses in contracts. And what this basically is this. What you want to be doing is, while you've got a solicitor right now, sorry, I'm just doing, yeah, yes, Sam. What you're going to be doing is this. Get onto your lawyers. And by the way, ask the lawyers for their mobile phones. You need to have mobile phones, because if these lawyers disappear and you can't ring their offers, you want to be able to call them on their mobile phone. The next thing is get them to put clauses in, update the contracts, get them to put clauses in that allow for a settlement period that might happen during the coronavirus period. And you've got a situation where you've got a vendor that is in quarantine and can't get out of the house. What you want to do is have provisions in the contract. A couple of the provisions are, you know, some people are talking about license agreements where they basically, the landlord, the vendor will actually pay rent to the new owner of the property until they can actually move out of the home. The next thing I would say is buy yourself some exercise equipment, right? Because what you want to do is during this period, I've got to tell you, exercise is going to be your antivirus, right? Gyms are closed. Go onto eBay. By the way, that's all I was doing, is I was pressing the reply button to some stuff that's being sent, some TRX bands, you know, and you can run outside, but it's important. I've got to tell you, you've got to basically look, this virus is part physical. Yes, it exists, but it's also part mental. And I want you to know the biggest problem I'm seeing at the moment with real estate people, they're catastrophizing. What they're turning around is they've got fear driving them. I've got to tell you, this time is going to pass. I don't know whether it's 1 month or 6 months or 8 months or 2 weeks or 4 weeks. I don't know, but it will pass. And I'm letting you know, you want to be one of the agents that comes out of it as a winner in market share, not a loser in market share. And the last thing I was going to say is go to Officeworks and create an environment where you can work for home and set yourself up for success. Guys and girls, what I'm going to do is, for a moment, I'm going to just come in here, and I just want to be clear. Is everyone getting what I'm saying so far? Could you please confirm to me? I'm just going to go here. Can you let me know? Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Guys and girls, let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. I want to go back to my share screen here, and I want to let you know that the next thing I want you to do is this. Tech tools. You need to set yourself up to become high tech, high touch. High touch is phone. High tech is technology like we're having right now. Step number one, get yourself a Zoom account. It is free if you are happy just to be able to do 40 minutes on Zoom and only allow one person in there. It's about 20, 30 bucks a month if you want to get a paid subscription. Zoom is what we're using, and Zoom is pretty much Zoom I've been using for 3 years. It's the way I do a lot of my coaching sessions. I do virtual webinars like I'm doing right now. I have various meetings with staff. It is my best friend, to be honest with you. Get yourself a Zoom account, and I'll be doing my auctions with Zoom. The next thing you want to do is to get yourself Rode lavalier or Rode wireless mic. Let me show you. See this? Those? This is what they are. This sits on here. This clips on to my mobile phone. That's a receiver. And what it does is they talk to each other. They're around 250 bucks. And what it means is you've got crystal clear sound on your videos, and you could be 20 meters away, right? And it's crystal clear sound. That is the wireless option. Then you've got what I call the lavalier option. Let me get it. Give me 1 second. That's the lavalier option. That clips here. And that goes into the phone. It's a mic. And guys and girls, you've got crystal clear sound. Couple of other things that I think you need. This light, let me show you. It is a ring light. See that? It clips on a table. It provides light into your face, and it gives it the option of warm light or cold light. There's a switch for it. And what you do is here, you can actually put your telephone in to actually be shooting your content. So you basically got a phone to look into and a light. You can buy these ring lights on eBay, have them in a few days. I use it for my Sunday night rants. You probably never, you end up not really seeing it. Okay. Close that off. Next thing, tripods. Because if you're going to be going live on Facebook and Instagram, and if you could see my table here, I've got multiple tripods, right? 1, 2, I like this one, $10. Why? Because in addition, it acts as a selfie stick. See that? Or as a tripod. And what it's going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to do your walkthrough property videos with your mic, right? With these mics, or the other one that you clip on, and you're going to be doing property videos because you're going to have to start doing virtual inspections, right? Next thing, next tech tool that you need is AirPods. Swear by them. Next thing is You may choose to actually be doing high quality virtual inspections, such as the ones that, you know, Deercrit provide, or Campaign Track provide. I'll leave that up to you. And the last one is online auction subscriptions. You may choose to actually use an online auction platform to be doing your auctions. There's quite a few. I'm not going to go through all of them. I don't want to product push. I think they're all okay, but I'm letting you know the auctions I'll be doing will be doing simply by Zoom. Buyers can see each other. They hear each other's bids. It's an easy email that they just get. They just click on it. You can send it to them by text message. They know the technology because a lot of people are using it. I've got a client in New Zealand that does 20 million in GCI a year, White Remuera, and they're doing, just using Google Hangouts. Okay, videos. I want you to know that you've got a great period at the moment to actually start working really hard on building your video strategies. And to me, there are 7 types of real estate videos. There are 7 types of real estate videos that you need to be doing. Let me run through them. Video number 1 is what I call the community video. This is when you actually interview a local business in the community and highlight this business in the marketplace. And then what you do is you give them a 30-second real estate report at the end of the video, and then you give this video to the local business who upload it onto their social media. So all of a sudden you're getting all the audience of that local business seeing you. That's the community video. The second video is testimonial videos. That's where you sell a property and you pull out your phone and get a video from the vendor. The third one is the live stream market wrap up. I have a client called Josh Tesselman who does 2 million in fees. He's only 24 years of age. And if you look at every Saturday afternoon, he does a live stream wrap up, market wrap up, just like I do a Sunday night rant. The next set of videos that you should look at doing in this time that you're going to have the ability to start building your personal brand and winning the digital interview. And that's what we're doing right now. We're moving away from cold door knocking, face to face. We're moving to digital door knocking. That's what's actually happening. The next videos are how-to videos. How-to example. You know, so what you do is for around 1 minute, you create a 1 minute video. You create a 1 minute video on how to bid at auction, how to buy online at auction, how to select the best agent to sell your property. You just go off and you produce stuff that keep people up at night, and you produce content in video. So what I'm going to do is, I've had a couple of questions come in. So I want to answer them. Darren, how long onto our webinar? I think we're going to go on till around 4:30, and we're going to answer a few questions, but we're planning, Darren, roughly till 4:30. Thank you. By the way, if anyone's got any questions, just type them up in the question box. The next video is the live stream auction video, and obviously during COVID-19, that's not going to really work in terms of live streaming an actual auction, but it will work with live streaming on a platform auction. The next videos is property videos. Property videos are where you start in the video of a property. They are the most common video in real estate. And what I want to say to you right now, if you've got listings at the moment that are on the market, that there is no video done for them, you are to go off and shoot a video yourself, yes, an amateur video, and put it up online before we go into lockdown. As I said to you, realestate.com have allowed for that functionality. And then number 7 is what I call the case study video. The case study video is where you create a video where you say, hey, it's Tom Panos here. I'm outside 27 Smith Street. This property was on the market with another agent for 90 days. We listed it. We actually had a 5-point marketing plan. We created compression selling. We got competition, and we sold the property close to full price. If you're at the moment on the market with another agent and you're stuck and you need some help, my number is in the comments below. That's what I mean by the case study video. And what you do with that video, you actually put it onto your Facebook account and you put your number in the comments below. Okay. Let's move on to some scripts and dialogues that you've got to be using right now during this period. Let's go through it. The first one is this. To the buyer that turns around, and says, I don't think we should be buying right now because I think the market's going to go down. Here is more or less the dialogue you need to be using. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, or John and Susan, if you think the market is going to go down in the future, maybe you should wait. That would be an assumption you make, and you may or may not be right. But what I'd like to do is make reference to 3 people that have bought a property in the last few days. And all 3 people bought a property for the following reasons. They bought a property because interest rates are the lowest that they've ever been. They bought a property because they realized they had a better chance of getting their offer accepted by a vendor while there's a bit of fear in the marketplace. They decided to buy a property because they'd been looking for a while, and they realized that now was ideal because they were competing with less buyers than previously. And because they were buying a property for their family, they decided to make a decision based on their life, not based on the market. You see, they sort of understand that real estate is a long-term play. So they weren't going to try and worry about picking the top or bottom of the market. And hence, they went ahead. Or use this. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know that you're concerned that this marketplace might really drop and there's fear out there. But what I can tell you is that the number one investor in the world is a guy called Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has a strategy. You buy when there's fear and you sell when there's boom. Right now, there's fear. And whilst I can't tell you, when the marketplace is going to bottom, I can tell you that you're buying this property today at a far lower price than what you would have a few weeks ago. And I don't know how much more this property might go down. But what I can tell you is the only way that you know that the marketplace has bottomed is when the marketplace actually goes up a bit, because then you can look back and say, that was the bottom back then. But by that stage, it is too late, because you'll be buying more than the bottom. Not only that, when the market picks up a bit, you're going to have more buyers to compete against. Not only that, when the market picks up a bit, there's less stock to pick from. Not only that, when the market picks up a bit, what you're going to find is rates are going to go up. So all I've got to say to you is, at the moment, you like this property. Yes, there is a coronavirus uncertainty out there. But what I can say to you is that we're having people buying property at the moment because they're making a decision on buying property based on their life more than based on the market. Will you be buying a home for your family based on your life or based on a short-term market issue? I also think that one of the most useful things everyone watching this webinar should do is work out who are their hardcore buyers. Who is a hardcore buyer that they've got at the moment Who are your buyers that are hardcore, that are going to buy anyway? These are people that have sold a property they need to buy. And I've got to tell you, they exist. Even the other night, I had 15 people registered in 2 auctions. This is the night before last, during this period. There are people out there that are looking to buy, right? And I've got to tell you, what you've got to do is call your buyers from A to Z and just ask them this question. Can I ask you, are you buying or are you sitting on the fence at the moment? That's the question. And everyone who says, yes, I'm still looking to buy, you stick to them like a stamp sticks on an envelope. They're the main people you've got to work for in this period. And a really good question to ask them is, if we find you a home you love, can you buy it now? You need to ask that question. You've got to work with people that are willing and able. Move on to the vendor scripts. Gambling type or conservative. I used this the other night at one of my auctions. The vendor was 50,000 short on what they were going to accept. And all I did was say this: Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, can I ask you, are you the gambling type or are you more conservative? They said conservative. I said, okay, well, let me tell you, right now, let's have a look at it. This is unprecedented times. The stock market has crashed. It's in a bear market. At the moment, every bit of marketing, every bit of editorial, every bit of TV is all about coronavirus. I'm sure you'd agree that there's nothing to indicate that this market is going to go anywhere but down. So what I'd like to say to you is, if you're conservative, but you're $50,000 short on the price that you want, my advice is you play it safe and take the cash. Cash is king. So you sell for $50,000 less, but the one that you buy for $100,000 less. You're still $50,000 better off upgrading in this market. It suits you. You're better off trading now than in a marketplace that gets better. Or this, when a vendor says, well, you know, we don't want to sell, we'll hang on and see what happens. And I think you say, well, if you don't sell now, I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen. And that is that prices are going to drop, that most likely there'll be very few buyers around. Right now, we have a buyer. I don't know whether we're going to have a buyer in a few weeks' time. My advice to you would be, take advantage of this marketplace, sell now, cash is king, and then what you do is you buy something at a discounted price, at an opportunistic price. You see, I got you to understand, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, there are 2 chapters in this book: what you sell for and what you buy for. It's the changeover that matters. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move out of share screen because I've seen a few questions come up. So let's go here to these questions. Oh, sorry, Darren has just asked, sorry, he meant to read, how do we log on to your 5 o'clock? Oh, webinar. Oh, okay. Well, the 5 o'clock webinar on video is for real estate gym members. And if you're a gym member, you will actually be getting the private link. So Darren, if you're a gym member, check your inbox. If you're not a gym member, become a gym member. I'd love you all to become. Join the gym, realestategym.com.au. Let's move on. By the way, guys and girls, can I check in with you? Oh, Anna Panos, I'm sounding a bit like a robot. Well, it is a little bit different when you're talking in a webinar, and I've got to be a bit of a robot here because I've got to make sure I get through this content. Make sure you're all taking notes so you guys get straight into this stuff. Thank you so much. Let's move on. All right, Anna, you've pumped me up now. Let's go back to share. Vendor scripts, let's move on. So, what are we having at the moment? You know what we've got at the moment, guys and girls? I'll tell you what we've got. We've got what is called, put that down here, make this smaller. You know what we've got? We've got an info pandemic. We are basically sitting there just participating in a problem. And yes, I totally get it. Trust me, I understand. Out of everyone on the planet, I'm as concerned as everyone. I'm considered immunosuppressant because of the 3 times I've had chemotherapy in my life. And I'm immunosuppressant because I'm on treatment now, more for preventative than anything else. And I was only on it 2 weeks ago. My doctor said to me, I need you to understand, you've got to stay healthy, which is why I'm actually sitting here and I've got this stuff here all the time. I'm constantly wiping my hands, right? Because actually that is a practical thing to do. I'll tell you what's not practical. To be bloody sitting in front of a television screen every minute of the day trying to work out how many people have died, right? Let me give you a couple of stats. Roughly in Australia, 15 people have died. Let me give you a few other stats. In Australia, every year, there is 55,000 people that die of cancer, right? And many of those 55,000 people are 7 years of age, 9 years of age, 13 years of age, sometimes 2 years of age. So we've got to keep perspective. It is a serious issue, but what you've got to do is do what you've got control of. Social distancing, yes, I get it. Making sure that you're getting rid of germs and not touching your face with your hands, unless they're actually sanitized. There you go. This is number 700 for today. Anyway, the point I'm making is it's like we've got this world that's gone into an info pandemic. Here's my advice. You want to stay fit during this period, reduce your media exposure to 15 minutes a day. Do daily exercise. Diarize and schedule. What's this mean? In this new world where you're going to be out of the office a lot more and probably working from home, remember this, what gets scheduled gets done. If I actually pull up my mobile phone and show you here, I've got to tell you, I'll bring it up here now. I am as busy as I've ever been. It's appointment after appointment. So what's happened is this. The appointments are still there. The method of the appointment has changed. That's been the pivot. That's been the alternative. So I'm letting you know, it is business as usual in an unusual way. And the next thing I want you to do is go to bed each night having set up your day, and things that are tasks you put in as an appointment, because it's easy not to do them. What gets scheduled gets done. The next thing is, I want you to factor in the 3 Ps. And what I mean by the 3 Ps is the following. What I mean by the 3 Ps, when there's a crisis, when a bad event happens, when the shit goes down, people participate in the 3 Ps. The first P is permanence. Permanence says that people start thinking, oh, this is long term, it's forever. It's not. To the point where I can tell you, in other parts of the world, people have moved on. I rang up the Apple shop in Wuhan myself to see that they're open, right? They're open. They're moving forward. It's gangbusters. What we have to understand, it is our time, and we're going through a challenging period, but I want you to understand Your current situation is not your final destination. It is permanent, right? Sorry, it is not permanent. It's temporary. And too many people are sitting there being drama queens. The world's come to an end. It hasn't come to an end. We're doing things differently. And for the record, you might actually come out of it, like I'm beginning to realize that there are pretty far more efficient ways to be doing things. So necessity has actually brought this to a head. And chances are the real estate world won't go exactly back to the way it was, because people are going to work out, hey, this is a more efficient way of doing things. The next thing is you need to have a daily KPI. And for me, the daily KPIs are really simple. I have for myself 5 Zoom appointments per day. These 5 Zoom appointments per day, 10 phone calls per day, and daily exercise. They're my non-negotiables, right? Anything else is a bonus. They're my minimum non-negotiables. Let's move on. I want you to go off and replace what you're consuming in the media, what you're consuming in Fox News or Al Jazeera TV, or whatever channel that you're getting your coronavirus dosage, that you're to replace it through listening to audiobooks or reading positive books. You have a golden opportunity to make yourself stronger on the inside. Success is an inside job. And I'm telling you, being mentally tough during this period is critical. So can I just give you a couple of things that I think you can be doing during the next few weeks? Number one, may I suggest it's a good opportunity to create a lead magnet. A lead magnet is a bit of content that you produce that solves a problem, right? That solves a problem that your marketplace cares about, right? That is what I mean by a lead magnet. An example could be, and I know clients are starting to do it already, they're writing up an ebook titled What the Coronavirus Will Do to the Value of Your Home in Fitzroy. So you personalize it and you actually write some content that actually solves a problem that keeps people up at night. You then promote this on your social media or on your website, and people opt in. Name, mobile, email, looking to buy, looking to sell, looking to rent. They tick one of the boxes, and you have already found a way to start building your database for the future. The next thing that you should be doing is looking at creating a weekly real estate show. I have one, it's called the Sunday Night Rant. Josh Tesselin has one, it's called the Saturday Afternoon Wrap Up. You now need to understand we are moving into a world where video comes first. Like now, training may move towards video. You're at your home, you can sit there, you don't have to park your car to go into the conference, you get the PowerPoint document. You know, sure, it misses a little bit of the human factor, but when you weigh it up, plus versus minuses, you turn around and you say to yourself, hey, it might be a better way for education. So I also want you to use this opportunity to clean your database. What you want to do is start from A to Z, go through it and work out who should be there and who should not be there. Guys and girls, you've been busy in the past. You've said about getting that database sorted. Here's your opportunity. And I've got to let you know, ringing people up will not give them, or you cannot get the coronavirus by phone. There are no excuses. The next thing is, I think it's a great time to sort yourself, your health out. It's a great time to sort your attitude out and work on yourself. And I can recommend you go to Udemy courses. They're online courses. They're hardly anything. You can do courses on psychology. You can do courses on shooting videos. You can do courses on any topic that you want. Guys and girls, I have to say to you that I'm now going to stop share. Oh, no, we'll move on to the next slide. Oh, beautiful. I want to move on now. I'm going to stop share and I'm going to bring another presentation on. And I just want to see any questions. How can we become a real estate gym member? You become a real estate, that was from Anshu Goel. The way you become a real estate gym member, you go to realestategym.com.au. In fact, I'll type it in here. And I'm not selling you the gym. You've asked for it and I'm answering a question. There you go. I've typed that in there. Okay, so can I ask you, I hope, Anna, I hope you enjoy that I've changed my robotic sound. And at this point, what I'm going to do is move in and actually, I'm going to move into a video. That's what I'm going to do. Guys and girls, let's watch a video here. And I'm going to come here, close that there, come here. Just bear with me. Okay, just bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Close that there for a second. Come here, come here, come here. Okay, guys and girls, let's watch this quick video here. And I want you to, the guy I'm going to show you is a guy called David Goggins, considered the strongest person in the world. And what I'm going to do is show you a video on the cookie jar. Okay, guys. Oh, you didn't see the video? No? Okay. 1 second. Can I confirm, guys, did you see that video? Okay. I do want to play this video. I do want to play this video. Yes, yes, yes. Just give me one moment. Hello?
Hi, Tom. It's Anna.
Hey, Anna, no sound? Okay, thank you. Guys, no sound on that video. Let me just think to myself, no sound on that video. Let me just think to myself. Okay, you know what? Move on. Don't worry about the video. I will send the link so you can watch it post this. What I want to do now is move on and actually move to what I call, oops, there we go, here. Guys and girls, can I ask you, go here, go here, go here, close that, close that. Can I ask you, can you see this slide, which is what is your core objective? Yep. Okay, fantastic. So let me move on and I want to just say to you, your core business objective in real estate, if you are in Melbourne, listen to me very carefully. Your core business objective is very simple. Get listings. Get listings. That is it. Listing solves every problem in real estate. That is your core business objective. Get listings. Number two, what is the core product you have? Listen, it is trust. Because in real estate, what happens is when a buyer buys a house, there's a swap. The swap is the buyer gives money to the vendor and they get the house. In real estate, when you list, they're actually not getting anything but you. You are the product. So what you've got to do is trust your superpower. Trust your superpower of 2020, right? That's what. And during this period, you've got the next few months to really build a lot of trust with people, right? And I'm going to go through some of the phone calls that you're going to be making when you're at home, because I'm going to tell you, the person that makes the most phone calls during the next few months is going to win the game. The people that stay relevant. So let's move through. By the way, here's a bunch of clients that I do work with. This guy here, Josh Tesselin, right here, top left, Josh Tesselin. Let me tell you what he does. 2 million, 24-year-old. The guy here, Gav Rubenstein, 3.5 million. Taney Jane, $1 million out of Werribee. Kate Smith, 200 sales in Adelaide. James Tossenben's been a long-term strong real estate agent in Victoria, which you know of. Tommy Hector, 1.6 million in Adelaide. This guy here, Angelo Nicholas, 1.65. Shari at Geelong does 200 transactions. I've got to tell you, what's one of the things they do? The damn phone. They make more calls into that pipeline. That's what matters. And you've got no excuses, because whilst you might have some restrictions on, like auctions, open for inspections, there'll be, and maybe they're going to get even harder and you're not going to be able to do buyer appointments, but you are going to be able to get on that damn phone and stay relevant. The first rule I want to cover with you is what is called the 30-day rule. And what the 30-day rule says is this: what you do in this 30 days affects the next 90 days. What you do in this 30 days affects the next 90 days. So you must always be working a solid 30-day, because the payback is down in 90 days. So now you've got a great opportunity. We're at the end of March. We're coming to April. That April can be, let's face it, there ain't going to be Easter, right? It ain't happening, right? There's going to be people that are at home. If there's ever a time that people are going to be accessible, it's now. And I'm not saying you dive in with commission breath, sitting there like this hungry agent that is not sympathetic and compassionate towards the current time. But I don't think there's anything wrong with you picking up the damn phone and saying, hey, it's Tom here from XY Real Estate. I know you're not selling, and I'm going to be brief. The reason I'm calling is because I just want to make sure that everything's good at your end. And I want to let you know that we are still going to be at work. If at any time you need to ask any questions, we're around. It's business as usual, but in an unusual way. We're going to be around on phone and email. And that's it. That is it. In those conversations, I've got to tell you, part of the conversation is showing that you care during this period. Don't become invisible. And during a conversation, people are going to ask you, oh, what do you think it's going to happen to the market? Do you reckon the market's going to tank? You know, how long do you think it's going to go down for? They're going to and get into a conversation. That's the 30-day rule. The next rule I want to talk about is called the law of replacement. And the law of replacement says this: you must always be replacing people in your pipeline, because there is always people leaving your pipeline. They're either deciding not to sell, or they're deciding that they're going to give it to another agent. And that's why you must always be replacing people in your pipeline. Here are the reasons why I think people suck at prospecting, right? And you work for a good group that gets exposed to a lot of good training over a long period of time. But I'll tell you straight, you're probably going to training sessions like this one, hearing stuff that you already know but don't do. I make a living out of telling people stuff that they know but they don't do. And here are the reasons why people suck at prospecting. Number one is they don't know who to call. Number two, they don't know the purpose of the call. Number three, it is not diarized. I'm saying it again. You have to treat your calls as an appointment. Treat it like an open for inspection. What gets scheduled gets done. The fourth reason why people suck at prospecting is they have fear. They're scared of rejection, right? They personalize it. The next thing is they don't know what to say. By the way, can I say something? So you know, this coronavirus period, it's a level playing field. Everyone has copped it, right? Everyone has copped it. But real estates have come through better than travel. Real estates have come through better than people that are in the hotel industry. Real estates have come in better than people that are a fitness trainer or gymnasiums. We have not got it too bad, but I got to tell you, you've got to overcome this fear of rejection, because if you don't, real estate gets really hard because you'll never make the calls you need to make. The next reason why people suck at prospecting is they don't know what to say, or they don't believe it works, right? Or they expect immediate results. We already said you've got the 30-day rule. And the 30-day rule says what I do in this 30 days affects the next 90 days. Other reasons is there's an energy blockage, right? What's an energy blockage caused by? I don't know. It could be a bad marriage. It could be that you've got a health issue. It could be that you're broke. What I do know is this: sometimes when people are complaining about their left knee, the problem often is the right hip. And what I'm saying is people complain that they're off track in prospecting, but there's something in their personal life that just gets in the way and they're drained, right? And they just simply can't pick up the phone because they got shit going on. Poor priority management. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Tom, I'm too busy. Well, here's the deal. You'll always be busy, but you'll never have time to do everything, but you will always have time to do the most important thing. And the last reason why people suck at prospecting is they lack product knowledge. They simply don't know why they're calling someone to give them useful information. So what I want to do is run through a couple of things that is going to help you become a fanatical prospector during the next month or two. Number one, I want you to distinguish between the golden hours and the platinum hours. The golden hours are the hours that you actually are calling. The platinum hours are the hours that you work out who to call. One of the reasons people suck at prospecting is they don't know who to call. Powerful lists equal powerful results. I'll say it again. Having a powerful list equals a powerful result. The next reason why people suck at prospecting is they don't measure their calls. In the real estate gym, I have a thing called My Prospector, and people simply measure how many calls they're making. It's all done by digital, how many call connects and how many appointments. And we clearly know the agent has most appointments wins. Let's be clear, you won't be having a lot of appointments during 2020 April. Why? Because people are not going to want you showing up to their house in light of this period. Some people may, most people won't. And now is not the time to obviously be doing door knocking. A couple of other things. There's an app here, it's called Streaks. Streaks is a wonderful app that allows you to take something and to turn it into a habit. For instance, you want to make exercise a habit, you put it into Streaks, and then it keeps bugging you every few hours. Have you done it? The app is around $4.99, and it is a habit builder with the aim to get you to do it for 21 days. I think a really good habit for you guys to have is 10 calls before 10 a.m. every day. Great habit. So here are the people that you should be calling during your prospecting calls. Number one is what I call the new sales listing. The new sales listing. So what's happened is a new listing has come onto the market. That property is, you've got an owner in your database that actually lives in that street, and this is what the call sounds like. Get ready. Hi, it's Tom Panos here from Stockdale Lego. I know you're not selling, and I'm going to be brief. The reason I'm calling is because I'm going to stop there for a moment. You've got to have a strong because. You've got to have a strong purpose. If your calls are wishy-washy, people are going to start saying all they've got is commission breath. You've got to have a strong because. So the because here in slide 1 is that there is a new listing in the marketplace that is relevant to people you got in your database. Let's go to call number 2. It's the purchase anniversary. So this call sounds like this. Hi, can I speak to Anna? Anna, it's Tom Panos here from Stockdale Lego. I'm calling you because it is now 2 years to the week that you bought your home. And I just wanted to let you know. That is what is called the purchase anniversary call. Let's move on to the third call, the lost sales listing call. This is when you did an appraisal on a property, you missed out on it, and you find out via realestate.com that they've given it to another agent. This call sounds like this. Hi, it's Tom Panos here from Stockdale Lego. Firstly, I want to wish you all the best. I can see you've made up your mind, and unfortunately for me, you've chosen another agent, but I do wish you all the best. Would it be okay that I stayed in touch with you with any buying opportunities I have? Because often people thinking of selling also are looking to buy, and I'd love to touch base with you. Then what you do is you stay in contact with these people, and at day 45, if they haven't sold, and I'm letting you know, in the new world that we're going to be in for the next 12 months, there will be more expired listings. There will be more people that don't sell, and all of a sudden, expired listings are going to become a major source of listings again. Let's move on to number 4. Oh, one of the greatest questions to ask an expired listing when you're chasing it is this. Why do you think you haven't sold so far? Very rarely will they ever say, because we're overpriced, or because our house is shit. They'll generally say timing, or they'll say something, we're not sure either, like we thought it would have sold by now, right? So all I'm saying is if you lose a listing, Don't leave on bad terms. Lose the listing with class. Stay in contact with them and have a crack second time around if it doesn't sell. Number 4 is the vacant rental listing call. This is when a property is sitting on the market vacant as a rental. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of those coming out of coronavirus. Because for me, coronavirus has 2 periods. It's during corona and post-corona. And post-corona is going to be a time where real estate agents are going to flourish. Let me read out a text message from who I consider to be the most articulate economic forecaster, and he's the only guy that picked coronavirus could impact real estate 2020 in early January. His name is Louis Christopher from SQM Research. Here's a text message that's just been sent to me. Tom, keep in mind that once the case numbers peak, we are off to the races. With all the stimulus out there and the low interest rates, this marketplace will explode for the remaining agents in it. You've just got to get through this storm. That's not coming from a real estate agent. That's coming from an economic forecaster. Move on. Number 5, just sold, just listed near you. This is when a property has just been sold or just listed near one of your owners, and you ring them up and you're just saying, hi, Tom Panos here. I know you're not selling and I'm going to be brief. The reason I'm calling is because, bang, property's just sold. Here's the dialogue. Would you like to know the new value of your home? Number 6, sometimes you'll find that you've got people in your database that are looking to buy, and I've got to let you know that these people here can then, they're signals that they're also a potential seller. One of the best things that you can ask them is this: hey, we noticed that you've gone through a property. Can I ask you, are you buying or browsing? I love that term. Are you buying or browsing? It opens up a conversation. Number 7 is stale listings. These are properties that have been on the market with other agents. At day 60, they're psychologically shopping for another agent. There is going to be a lot more of those post-corona. And number 8 is the quarterly own nurturing call. This is when you're calling people up every quarter and actually staying relevant to them. Guys and girls, I'm going to do a stop share. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you guys into the presentation, right? I'm going to bring you into the presentation, and what I'm going to do is see whether anyone wants to ask any questions. So, and I've got one. By the way, can I ask you, did you find that presentation useful? I covered some logistics, I covered video, I've covered text, I covered coronavirus, and I covered prospecting. I am letting you know, thank you, that is good feedback that we're getting from you all. I am letting you know I'm going to get that's right. Kat says, I'm actually excited about where it's going. So am I. I'm excited because at the moment we got a bunch of mediocre agents that are just getting their share, which is copy someone's strategy and cut the commission. And I'm letting you know, we got an incredible opportunity right now. Everyone's copying it. Who's going to come out? Those that have got crucial conversation, those that can put deals together, right? Anyway, I want to give you some more content. Any tips on social media? Yes, I've got some tips on social media. Let me give you a couple of tips. Number 1, live stream. Live. Instagram live, Facebook live. The algorithm works far better than pre-recorded stuff. Get into the habit of shooting live videos. And I know what you're going to say. I'm not good at it, Tom. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I don't have the equipment. Man, you got a mobile phone, you got a tripod, you got the equipment. You got the equipment, right? No worries about that. You got the equipment. Then 10 people turn around and say, oh, I'm not good at it. Hey, listen, they're not looking for a newsreader. They're looking for a girl or guy that can give them valuable real estate information. You've got to be a value-added provider. Show more, do more, give more. Couple of other things on social media. You must understand that social media has got three families. There is the Facebook family that owns Instagram. There is Google that owns YouTube, and there is Microsoft that owns LinkedIn. These three families do not cooperate. They don't like each other. So whenever you post content, you must not post a link from one family and take them to the next family, because their algorithm will stop it, will show very few people. Example, you don't go off and put a YouTube link, which is owned by Google, on a Facebook post. You actually post the video in natively. Couple of other tips on social media. Be the same person on and off camera. Very important, because social media is about authenticity. And I'm just going to show you an example of that right here, right now. I'm going to go off and actually shoot a video here, right? I'm going to do this right now. Watch me do this. I'm going to shoot a video and I'm going to say, hey everyone, I am going live on a webinar calling Smashing It During Coronavirus. I've got the Stockdale Lego group in Melbourne. Why? Because they're getting ready. You got to sweat in training so you don't bleed in battle, right? That's the video. What it's done, I come up here, I put it, and I post that on Insta Story, and bang, it's done. Get about 2,000 views of that over the next 3 or 4 hours. So to me, Insta Story is underpriced attention. Use it. The next one is Facebook is, to me, a video platform. Never forget that. Video on Facebook. Other things I'm going to tell you on social media is this. Understand, they are not, Facebook is not, like Facebook, Instagram, they're not a charity, right? They're a media company. So you've got to get into the habit of understanding that you want to get more eyeballs, you got to pay more money. And I've got to tell you, for me, one of the things that's going to help you smash it over the next 12 months, as we moved into a new world now. Excuse me. We moved into a new world. We're going to move into a world now. You know what I want to show you? I've got to tell you, I want to finish on this point. You want me to tell you why I'm so excited? I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to show you something here. Let me see if I can bring it up. Okay. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you this. Give me 1 second. Come in here. Share. Just bear with me. Okay. See that slide, guys and girls? I want to let you know that slide there is a photo of me just before I went into chemotherapy in 2006 for the first time. I've had cancer 3 times now. I want to let you know that when I walked in, 2006 feels like 2020. I'll tell you why. Because during that period, I had to stay away from people. I had to have social separation so I wouldn't get a virus while I was on chemo. During this period, which actually felt like a retreat, I'd go in and have chemo and I'd come in and I'd sit at my house. That 9-month period, I used that period to actually reinvent myself. Many of you know me post that period. I'm a different person. I'm a person that changed their life due to a crisis. There's a saying, some of the best gifts in life come badly wrapped. And I believe right now, this event that we've got going on right now, I want you to understand, is a wonderful opportunity for you to reinvent yourself. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to drop your bullshit, to let go of old beliefs, and to come back with a new set of eyes. You can come back, like I'm telling you, the person that walks into a storm and the person that walks out of a storm is a different person. That's the point of the storm. For me, most of the next few months is going to be about how you handle it psychologically, whether you collapse and you get devastated. I want you to get super clear on what you want your life to look like in the next 12 months. You've got a good opportunity over the next few weeks, and that is to start working on yourself, physically, mentally, work on your family life. For many of you, you've got an opportunity to speak to your kids, which you hardly speak to. I'm one of those people in that category because I'm never home. But I've got to say to you, you can look back in a year's time and say, that was a turning point for me. You know, I worked on myself, for myself, by myself. So as I come to an end on this event, I want you to get off and be practical and start doing some of the important stuff that I talked about, which were the logistics. Get in, get final inspections of settlements, get videos done on properties, right? Do everything that you need to do, making the assumption that we're going to have a lockdown. You need to do that, right? That's step number 1. Then step number 2 is start planning how you're going to be working from home. And to me, nurturing your database and producing video content is going to be your 2 core foundation activities. Guys and girls, I'm going to allow 5 or 10 minutes for some Q&A, and then we're going to sign off. I'm going to make sure I get the presentations sent to you and including the video we spoke about. Can I ask, is there any questions that you have? Sorry, I haven't answered a question here. And it's from Anshu. It says, Tom, a quick cue. If we had lost a listing and a buyer has signed up an exclusive authority, and the buyer, if we have lost a listing and buyer has signed up with some other agent, but not listed it in the market yet, and you have a buyer ready, can vendor cancel the authority with other agent or not? Listen, I think you've made an error in that question, because you've got, if we've lost the listing and buyer has signed an exclusive authority. Buyers can't sign exclusive authorities with some other agent. I think maybe you mean that the vendor has signed an exclusive authority with another agent. I I think that's what you mean. And then you've gone on to say, and you have a buyer ready. Can vendor cancel the authority with other agent? No, it's not as easy as that. You can't just cancel an authority with another agent. May I suggest that you actually raise that question with someone at head office to confirm what I'm saying, but I can pretty much tell you if they've got it signed up and they've signed it properly, that at best you might have to ring up the other agent and ask for a conjunction. Guys and girls, I'm trying to see, have we got any other questions? Oh, sorry, vendor, you do mean Mendel. Okay, yeah. Is there any other questions? If there is no other questions, I know that you've got a fair bit to do all of a sudden in the next 2 days, and you don't have open for inspections. Don't forget what I said to you. Do your open for inspections the way I said, 4 per hour, 2 times a week. Slot them up in your own head, 3 to 3:15, 3:15 to 3:30, 3:30 to 3:45, 3:45 to 4 o'clock. And that way you can manage 8 people per property. Guys and girls, I'm going to let you know we're changing, but if you don't like change, you're going to hate extinction. Guys and girls, I'm signing off.